Hello, everybody, and welcome to Admit One. I am your host, Tyson Honaker, and today we are going to be discussing our top 10 films of 2022. It has been an incredible year for film, and I cannot wait to talk about it, and I could not do it alone. So today we have Amanda joining us. And Amanda, how are you feeling about your list for the top 10 films of 2022?
Pretty good. I feel like they're going to be better than yours. So,
Yeah, you're not going to like some of mine, I don't think, but
cool.
I think we're going to have very different lists.
Well, that's a good
Uh,
thing. That's why I'm here.
that is why you're here. Yes, thank you for
Mhm.
being here. All right, so here's how we're gonna break it down. We're gonna do films 10 through 6. I'm gonna go first, and then we'll discuss my list, and then Amanda will follow with hers, and we'll discuss hers. And that is the same order we'll do for films 5 through 1. And as a reminder, we have not seen every film that has come out in 2022. I have not seen The Banshees of Inisherin, Tar, The Fablemans, The Women King, just to name a few. So those films will clearly not be on my list. And these lists are our own opinions. You may not agree with them, but that is okay. They are correct to us, and everybody else has their own opinions, and that's great. That's what makes film amazing. So, with that being said, let's get into it with my number 10 film of the year. My number 10 film of the year is The Menu with Ray Fiennes, Anya Taylor-Joy, and Nicholas Hoult as well as in the movie. A very interesting film. I didn't watch the trailers or anything going in, and I was pleasantly surprised by this movie. I didn't know what to expect, and the ending really threw me off. But it was a thinker. After I left the theater, I thought about it for a while, and it was a very good way to end a film, especially with how you see Ray Fiennes' character in the beginning. It's a really like a character-driven movie, I think, for his character. And you see Anya Taylor-Joy be able to connect with him on a level that's kind of, I mean, he's a creepy character, but the ending of him makes sense, and you actually get to see it from his perspective, which I enjoyed from that. So that's why The Menu is number 10 for me. Number 9, we have Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. It's a film I just recently saw in preparation for making this list, and I was very much blown away by the stop motion animation. I love that genre of movie making, and it has excelled just in the past days of me watching it. I can't stop thinking about how long that must have taken to film, and the difference of what I'm used to Pinocchio being the Disney telling of it. It's a very different story, and it's a more realistic and heartbreaking story to watch. Especially on the character of Geppetto. You see how he has a son before Pinocchio in the movie, and that's very heartwarming to see, but also heartbreaking at the same time. And you get a different sense on a fairy tale that I thought I knew. And I very much enjoyed the perspective that he gave us in this film. And it's definitely going to be one that is going to stick with me for a while. And I think if I saw it a couple months ago, it would have climbed even more in my top 10. But for now, it's at number 9. Number 8, I have Ethan Hawke in The Black Phone. The Black Phone is a amazing movie. I know we can both agree on that one. We both love Ethan Hawke, and what he did in this role is astounding. I was freaked out and creeped out by him, but I loved him at the same time. He just did such a good job driving this movie, but the kids in the movie also did a great job, which is not really something I can say a lot for kids in a film, but just how Ethan Hawke goes through these different, it kind of reminded me of James McAvoy in Split, how he kind of plays, it seems like, a couple different people in this movie. And I think he should be getting a Best Actor nomination at the Oscars for this role because that's how good it was, in my opinion. But I loved this movie, just the mystery of it all, the twist at the end with you kind of can see it a little bit in the trailer with kids who Ethan Hawke's character has killed in the past come back in this one and try to help this kid right now try to get out of the spot that he's in. and it was very on the edge of my seat the whole time I was watching the movie. I'll say that. Very thrilling and grabbed my attention. So The Black Phone is number 8. And number 7 is a film that I watched and I finished up about an hour ago, and that is Till. I saw Till. I wanted to see it in the theater, and I missed it, so I bought it for $20, and I'm glad I did because it is amazing. It's heartbreaking, but it's a very important movie. Um, Obviously, it deals with a very serious situation about the murder of Emmett Till, and we see this amazing performance from uh, Emmett Till's mom, and the actress's name is Danielle Detweiler, and she is phenomenal in this movie. I do think she'll get a Best Actress nomination at the Oscars, and I think this is one of the best performances I have seen all year. You, I know, at least for me, even though I've just saw it about an hour ago, it's definitely going to stick with me for a good couple of weeks, just because the movie it moves you. It's so emotional, and you really feel what it's like, what it could be like to be in that position, because Danielle Detweiler's performance takes you on her journey and you can see it all from her eyes, and it is moving and heartwarming and incredible. So Till is number 7, and number 6 is The Batman with Robert Pattinson and Paul Dano as the Riddler and Colin Farrell as the Penguin. I mean, great actors to be taking this role. When Robert Pattinson was announced as Batman, I thought of Twilight and I thought of Batman, and I didn't see him in it, but you see a different take on Batman, and it is a wonderful take directed by Matt Reeves, who has created the best Gotham I think I've ever seen in a Batman film. It's dark, it's gritty, and I love that it's a standalone in its own sort of universe. I'm loving Colin Farrell's Penguin and very excited for that series as well that's coming with him in it, to see more of his character. But he was the biggest takeaway in this movie for me. And you could see futuristic plot points for his character, I believe, in this movie as well. And Paul Dano as the Riddler, I mean, unbelievable job. When you hear that the Riddler is going to be in this movie, I thought of the Jim Carrey Riddler, and I wasn't really too thrilled. And then I went to go into this movie, and I was blown away by Paul Dano. The last act of this movie, or the last like 20 minutes, is a little rough, but the rest of the movie makes up for that, and it still is enough to put it as number 6. And I think it's a very incredible take on Batman. And at number
Oh, wait, I think
oh
that's it,
wait,
right?
that's it for this
That's
round.
it for the
We'll
first half.
wrap it
Okay.
up. So
Have I been pronouncing Paul Dano wrong? Is it Dano?
it's Paul Dano, yeah, right?
Dano?
I think it's Paul Dano.
I've been saying Dano for years.
I might be. I think it's Paul Dano.
I'm just gonna keep saying Dano.
You say Dano. You do
I'll
that.
say Dano, you say Dano, and then we'll find out, I guess,
We'll find out
who's
who's
wrong.
correct. Yes.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
what do you think of
Interesting
my
list.
list?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not
Okay.
bad. I mean, I haven't seen Till,
Yep.
so I can't comment on it.
Right.
I do want to. The Batman did not crack my top 10. So,
No. Wow.
mm-mm,
I'm
mm-mm.
not. I'm not surprised, but yeah, I do know you liked it, right?
Yeah, I liked it. Again, like I'm just kind of ranking them by how much I personally enjoyed them more than like
Hmm.
how good they were. So,
Right.
yeah, I think again, like that would probably be my top 10
Okay.
quality films, but not for me personally.
Got it. Okay.
So, okay, to start off, 10 double feature. I chose two films that go hand in hand,
Wow.
X and Pearl.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because I just, so, I mean, with X, obviously you have to start with X.
Yep.
It's based in the 70s. That's already a point for me. I love the atmosphere of that. 70s horror films are just a whole other
Right.
atmosphere. Just brilliant. Um, and I mean, I liked X a lot, but I think Pearl then like took it and kind of by focusing in on Pearl and like on the villain, it was a different perspective than you
Hmm.
usually get in a horror film. So you obviously you're not rooting for the protagonist of the movie because she's murdering people, but it's just it's kind of fascinating to get into her mindset of that character, and also be a goth,
Mhm.
and what she did with it was just amazing. And
Yeah.
I look up to her. Oh yeah, so that's number 10. Very fun films.
Okay.
And then number 9, Bullet Train.
Bullet
That was fun.
Train.
I thought it was
Okay.
fun.
Uh-huh.
I love Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yes. Yes.
Not much to say about him other than just like look at him.
Right.
And I've also heard he only does one movie a year, so he's very, very
Oh, I didn't
picky,
know that. Okay.
very particular about what he
Mhm.
chooses. So I always look forward to what he does, and it was fun. I love is it Brian Tyree Johnson? What's his?
Henry.
Oh,
Henry.
yeah,
Brian Tyler Henry.
Henry.
Henry. Henry.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, gotcha. Love him. I
Hmm.
have not seen Causeway with him and Jennifer Lawrence yet, and I really want to.
Oh, I've not seen that one either.
Yeah. That's on my list of things to see. What might have made the list if I'd seen it.
Yep.
Number 8, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, actually, with Nicolas Cage.
Oh, I wish I could agree with you.
Wait, what? Okay, so I have to hear your thoughts on it. Why? Why didn't you like it?
I, I wanted to. I went to it.
Okay.
Ash and I went to it, and I did get a couple laughs out of the movie, but I didn't get the hype around it. I thought it
Mm.
was okay. I just didn't think it was that funny.
I think for me, it was also just Pedro Pascal being in it.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
love them.
you
I
do
love
like
him.
Pedro
I love
Pascal.
Nicolas Cage. I love
Yes.
them to get their dynamic
I
together
love
was
both of
fun.
them. It just
Yeah.
and it felt like they clicked. I wasn't like, oh my gosh, this movie's amazing. And I just wasn't on that train. I just didn't I felt it was a little dry.
Yeah, no, no, I get that totally too, and I actually agree. And actually, I'm not going to revise it now, but I
No,
might. My bottom 5 of the top 10 list are sort of interchangeable. They're
yes.
not really. They're just like the movies I put in there
Hmm.
to round out my list. So
Right.
don't hold me to that order necessarily. Number 7, Glass Onion.
Wow,
Have you
that's
seen that? Have you
low.
seen that one? Is that? Oh, okay. Does
That's
that mean
low.
that's in your top? Is that in your top 5?
I don't know, but
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I mean, no, I loved it. It was really fun. I love the
yeah.
ensemble cast. I love Daniel Craig in those movies, but I love Knives Out way more than I liked Glass Onion.
Okay.
So it was more of a straightforward comedy than the first
Hmm.
one. It didn't
Right.
really have the heart of the first one, and I don't think it was as accessible to a broader audience as the first one is, if that makes sense. Like
That I do get I understand where you're coming
like
from
I
on
wouldn't
that. Yeah.
show my grandparents Glass Onion, but I have shown them Knives Out because I just feel like they
Right.
wouldn't really get Glass Onion.
I mean,
Just
I was like that too. I told my family to watch Glass Onion over the holidays, and they've seen Knives Out and they like it, but they didn't. They turned off Glass Onion halfway through.
yeah, it just felt very much like it was meant for someone of our generation in particular to watch and then be able to
Mm,
enjoy. It wasn't something that was super accessible to
okay.
older
I
people
see.
or like mystery lovers. It was definitely more of like a comedy, you know.
Right.
But I did like it. And then number 6 is Petite Maman by Celine Sciamma, French filmmaker. Have you seen Portrait of a Lady on Fire?
I have, yes.
Okay, so yeah, she was that director. And technically, this came out in 2021 in France, but it was released this year in the US, which is how I saw
Okay.
it this year. So,
We'll count it.
and that's
That's
like, yeah, and that movie is very short. I think it's not even like a full movie length. It's almost,
oh wow.
it's not a short film, but it's not a full,
It's
it's
in
a very
that middle
short
ground.
feature. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but very good. I don't want to say too much about that without giving away like the plot, but you should
Oh,
watch it sometime. Yeah, it's
okay.
really good.
All right.
So that's my top 5, my bottom 5, my top 10.
That okay, that's interesting. That is an interesting list. I like some of the films on there. Some of them I have not seen, but some of them I think I'm about to get into. So, with that being said, let's get into my 5 through 1. This is the one where I think you're gonna think I'm crazy,
Mm,
but I walked out of this film very excited. I thought this was great. I know it's not the best movie out there, and I know the story can lack in all departments. I know character's not the biggest thing in this movie, but I loved it, and that is Black Adam. That is Black Adam with Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Pierce Brosnan, and Noah Centineo. I love this movie. It is not the best made movie, but I walked out of this movie with all this. This is the most exciting movie experience I had, I think, of 2022. I love The Rock.
Mhm.
This was for me one of the first times I watched a movie with him in it, not feeling like he was playing The Rock. I really, I didn't even, I watched that movie and I didn't see the personality of The Rock. I literally just saw the character of Black Adam. And I thought it delivered on what it is, and that is a awesome blockbuster popcorn movie. And I know the third act is lacking. I did even acknowledge that when I was in the theater. I was like, "Oh, this is awesome." And then the third act started, and I was like, "Oh, my hype went down a little bit." But it still ended for me in a great way when I walked out, and I was like, "Yeah, I love the hell out of this movie." And do I think they're gonna make a second one? Not anymore. But this one ended on a good note. He was on the. I don't want to
I
give
haven't
away.
seen it.
I don't want to say things, but just how it started and how it ended, I was like, this is a good standalone movie. It ended in a good way where I'm okay with there not being a sequel. And I will rewatch this one a good amount of times, and I think I'll still be happy when I finish it. I do think Pierce Brosnan is great in this movie, and I do think he's one of the best parts as Dr. Fate. And he really tries to act his ass off in this movie, which arguments can be made that he's the only one, but that's okay. Like I said, I know I'm in the minority of loving this movie and thinking it's amazing, but I just do. I think it's great. It was the best movie experience I had in 2022, so that is why Dwayne The Rock Johnson's Black Adam is my number 5. And at my number 4, a film you had on your list, Bullet Train. I love Bullet Train. Bullet Train was great. I took Ash to it, not so much. But myself, I loved it. I loved the comedy in it, the action I thought was a great blend. Like you said, the twins, Aaron Taylor Johnson and Brian Tyler Henry, like phenomenal. I love those two together. They were my favorite part of the movie. And I thought the story was actually pretty good. I mean, it also kind of kept you on your seat. You didn't really know what was coming next. And the stuff that happens with Joey King's character, for example. Like I didn't see that coming, and that was great. I was like felt invested in these characters, and I felt like we were kind of a passenger on the train along with Brad Pitt. And I liked how immersive I felt like this movie was. And it got the laughs, but it also got me on the edge of my seat for the action. And that's what I wanted from this movie, and I got it. And so that's why it's my number 4. And my number 3 may come to no surprise to you or me, but it is Avatar: The Way of Water. And I was very excited for this movie. And after seeing it 2 times, I felt that it delivered. First of all, it goes without saying the visuals are outstanding, and they're very, I mean, it's an immersive movie. You feel like you're in Pandora, just like the first one, but yet they up the scale with it in this one. I mean, this is obviously the best best looking movie I have ever seen, and I do think it's a fact that it's the best looking movie ever made. You look to how they've made this movie. I mean, how they did the motion capture underwater, and not just 3 feet underwater, but like a 70-foot tank. And they're like, yeah, we're gonna actually like act all the water scenes under this, and people have to hold their breath for 7.5 minutes, like Kate Winslet did. Like, it is outstanding. It is an achievement in filmmaking for sure. But the story may not be the most groundbreaking story, but when you put together the character development, when you put together the visuals, and you put together the heart of this film, which is family and how important that family bond can be, that's what really hit me for this movie. And that's what I took away, was that this film, it's a film about family and how important it is, and how family can make you do things that you didn't think were possible, and it will push you to the farthest extent to make sure you do what's right for the people you love. And because I can get that from a movie that's about blue creatures from another planet is just the brilliance of James Cameron. And I'm very excited for Avatar 3, 4, and 5 after seeing this movie. And I am very glad that it was worth the wait and that it did live and surpass the hype. I'm glad this movie was able to do that. So that's why Avatar The Way of Water is my number 3. My number 2 is Glass Onion. Glass Onion for me was phenomenal. I like it more than Knives Out. I thought it surpassed, I know, hot take, but I thought it surpassed Knives Out. For me, I did like the comedy that was more in this film. That worked for me. I didn't think it overdid it. The mystery part of this one was done very well. The script kept me on the edge of my seat. I thought Ryan Johnson did a great job. I thought the cast of this movie was phenomenal. Just like the first one, had a great cast, but this one also, um, I might like this cast even a little bit better, just because I felt more of a connection. I felt they had a stronger bond in this movie, and maybe that's because they were all friends for a long time. And you could really feel that. I thought Edward Norton and Daniel Craig were amazing. Daniel Craig, I know he's the only one from the first movie that comes into this one, and he'll be the only one from this movie that moves on to the third one. But I thought that was you even saw more character development from his character, which was very well done. And Janelle Monáe in this film, I don't think gets enough love for her acting in this because I thought it was very phenomenal, and you find out why it's phenomenal, but I can't reveal that right now. And another actor I love, Leslie Odom Jr., obviously Aaron Burr from Hamilton, and I liked seeing his acting in the movie career. I liked seeing that part move forward with this film, and I love anything he does, and I'm very glad that he was a part of this project. Yeah, it was great. I saw it in the theaters when it was released for that 1 week, which I hope Netflix actually keeps doing and realizes that that's actually a smart idea for them to do. Um, it was definitely great to see this in a theater with a group of people who were verbally saying like, "Oh my gosh," or "I can't believe this happened." Like I actually heard that from people, so it was a great movie going experience for sure. So, Knives Out is my number 2 film of the year, which leaves number 1, and that is Top Gun Maverick. That is
That
Top
hurts.
Gun Maverick with Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise delivered with Top Gun Maverick. I knew this movie was coming out at the beginning of this year. Really didn't have an intention on seeing it or didn't think I'd really care about it that much. But I went to it at IMAX, and when I walked out of that 2.5 hour movie, my mind was changed. I thought this movie was phenomenal. It was thrilling, it was funny, it was heartwarming. It was just great. And it was great to see Tom Cruise just you could tell he loved doing this movie going back to what it was 30 some years after doing the original Top Gun. You could tell he cared about this project. And you can tell even with how he handled the promotion of it, handled no, we gotta wait until after COVID's almost done to release this film. He really wanted it to be in the theaters. He knew this was the greatest theater going experience. And I mean, he was right. He really cares about the projects he does, and he cares about the movie going experience. And I'm glad he does because this was definitely one you need to see in the theater. And it definitely brought, I mean, I thought even the story for his character was very well done. I mean, we've seen him before, but I thought for where we went from the first one to this one was really well, and I think it actually surpasses the original Top Gun, and I'm not the only one who thinks that. And I'm glad this movie's even getting some Oscar buzz. I do think it will get nominated for Best Picture, and I think it deserves to. So that is my number 1 film of the year.
Interesting list.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, we have some differences in opinion.
I
I
think we
won't,
do.
yeah. I will say what was interesting was your comments on Avatar, because I think I agree a lot with what you said, where it's like, the story was obviously not groundbreaking, but it was familiar in a way that worked and was good. And I don't
Yeah.
think it needed to be groundbreaking because it had groundbreaking technology and visuals. I don't think that it is undisputably the best looking film ever made. I would
Really?
argue, yeah, I would argue with that. I don't know which one I would say is, but I think that it's probably maybe would crack the top 10 most stunning
Maybe we'll crack
movies.
the top 10.
Maybe, maybe,
I'd like to
maybe.
see your list of that, and I'd like to
I'd have
see.
to, yeah, I'd have to make that. I'd have to do some research into that, but I definitely would
Wow.
hold fast to that, I think. Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna come back to that comment because
Yeah.
that's a comment.
And I also think that the main themes that I take away from it too are different than you. Not in a bad way, not where like I disagree
Mhm.
with, you kind of like really resonating with the family
Yep.
theme, family bond. It's at the center of the film. And like my takeaway kind of being more about like the importance of balance in nature and taking care of the environment and being respectful of that and you
Yeah,
know
that is
of indigenous peoples and that, oh yeah, obviously I know you know that's a
right.
big part of it too, but yeah, it's
Mhm.
interesting how it resonates. It's the same film, we can
Yep.
watch the same film and we just take away very different, or like we like the thing that sticks with us is very different. It's it's
And
kind
that's
of a
what makes
cool,
it so great. Is that
that's what makes art so great, is that
right?
everyone can interpret it differently.
Hmm.
So that was interesting. Obviously your number five pick was astounding to me.
I know you agree. That's your number one.
Oh, mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
yeah, we'll see about that. Um, I didn't see it, so I can't be too critical.
it's on HBO
I,
Max. It's streaming.
mm,
You should watch it.
yeah,
Very
yeah.
good.
Mm,
Very good.
maybe, maybe
Mhm.
if I'm desperate one day and I've watched every other movie ever made.
Wow.
Um, number one, again, like I haven't seen Top Gun. Can't say too much about it.
You
Can't
have not
begrudge
seen it
you your
still?
choice.
I thought you still saw it.
No, I've never seen the first one, so I would have had to go back and watch the first one and then
I
go see
saw
it
the
with the
first one
original.
once. Yeah,
Okay,
you might have to see that to watch it. But Top Gun
probably.
Maverick it's outstanding. I loved it.
Yeah, I don't disagree that it could be good. It's just not
Right.
my kind of movie. Like it didn't really
Hmm.
pique my interest.
Right.
So I guess with that said, I'll move on to my top five.
Let's do it.
Okay. Okay, so number five, Tar.
Need to
Which
see
you
it.
need to see, which I've been
Love Kate
telling you
Blanchett.
to see for how many months now?
You know.
Um, Tar, yeah, Kate Blanchett.
Yeah.
I mean, is there anything else to say? It's just, Kate Blanchett is amazing
Hmm.
and I love her and I'm in love with her and she will definitely get nominated. And
Yes.
I don't know if I see her winning, but I think she would deserve it if she did.
I think she could win, but I'm sure we'll talk about that in a later
Yeah.
video.
Number four, Bones and Doll. Did you see? Did you see it?
I've heard very controversial viewpoints about this movie,
Yes.
and I've heard more negative than positive. So,
Oh, interesting. Well, I think it's a very visceral movie. It's
mhm.
very, it's very divisive. I mean, and it's obvious why. If you watch it, it's grotesque and kind of ridiculous at their points where if you're not sort of fully into it, that it'll
Right.
just be silly. And I love Luca Guadagnino. I love um oh my God, how am I forgetting the name? Call Me by Your Name. I have a
Yes.
tattoo for Call Me by Your Name. I
Sure.
love that film. I love the way that he makes movies. I feel like he has a very distinct style that's not really
Mhm.
overt and in your face at the same time. Like you can just tell by the sound design in particular that it's a Luca Guadagnino film. I
Yeah.
haven't seen Suspiria. I need to see Suspiria.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, Bones and All was great. The performances were really good. I guess number three, The Black Phone.
Oh, okay. All right.
Again, I'm ranking them by enjoyment. So this is like,
Hey,
Ethan Hawke. Ethan Hawke.
right. Ethan Hawke. Hmm.
Um, Again, it's based in the 70s. It's a horror film based in the 70s. That's just already going to give it like an edge for me.
That's your
The
cup of tea
kids
right
were
there.
great. Yes, the kids, phenomenal, weren't annoying,
Right.
which is I feel like already really hard for kid actors not to be. Uh, yeah, I mean, it was good. It was like a very classic, just sort of horror story. And I love how this, I read the short story by Joe Hill, who I don't know if you know is
Oh,
Stephen King's son.
oh, I did not know that.
Yes, yeah. So I read the short story before the movie came out. And so I was wondering
Hmm.
like how are they going to expand? this into a full length movie. And I think they did
Right.
it in a way that was really well done and natural, and just it didn't feel convoluted. You know, like a lot
Hmm.
of times when movies try to expand
Right.
on a story, they just add a lot of filler, and it, like it
Yep.
didn't. It all felt necessary to me, and
Yeah.
it was just fun. You know, just kind
That's
of
good.
campy in a way. Yeah, loved
Mm.
it. Um, Number two, Avatar.
Wow.
Yeah.
Number two. Okay.
I really just I've seen it twice now, and
Yep.
I just enjoy it. It's just fun. I love the characters. I love the world. It's kind of like I'm living through them. I want to go and be in like I want to go and be Navi. Like I just want to live
Right.
in that world. I want to live on Pandora.
Oh
I like
yeah.
James Cameron too. I like his movies. I like Titanic. So you know, and there were elements in Avatar that I recognized from
There
Titanic.
were.
The
Yeah.
score, the ship at the end. Oh, not that I can say too much, but there were elements in there that I really enjoyed. And number one, The Northman by Robert Eggers.
I have not seen that, and I really need
You,
to.
oh my God, you haven't
I
seen,
think.
and you had it. That's a movie you have to see in theaters. That's such a theater experience movie, which is why I put it number one because it was just the most fun I had in a theater. It was
Well, that's
so
good.
brutal
Yeah.
and violent in a way that I enjoy. But at the same time,
Yes.
it's like, okay, I could critique it too. I mean, I could go in and like, you know, but
Right.
it's the cast is great. Nicole Kidman, Alexander Skarsgård, you know,
Yeah.
the rest of them. I mean, it's Anya Taylor-Joy, love it, love them. And it's just I love Robert Eggers films. So I don't
Oh
know if
yeah.
you've seen The Lighthouse or The Witch.
I have seen both.
Okay, so you know the sort of very niche like historical horror that he does is
Yes.
like right up my alley. I mean that's exactly the sort of thing that I love.
Yeah.
And he does such a good job of being kind of like historically accurate, but also
Okay.
like taking kind of like fantastical elements and putting them in there too, like incorporating mythology into
Right.
the stories in a way that just feels so it's just so like I love
Hmm.
it. It's such a good film. You have to see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my top five.
All right, that will do it. That was our top 10 films of 2022. It was a great year, a great list. Thank you, Amanda, for coming on and talking about that. Really hope you guys enjoyed. Let us know down below what some of your favorites were of 2022. Cannot wait for 2023. And until next time, we'll see you back here on a bit more.